Hi, this is Murray at Second Time Tech, and today is the 4th of April, and that is 1 month to the day that I started my channel, and I decided that that would be the length of time that I would take in order to get my first video out. Well, it's been taking a little bit longer than what I thought, because I get caught up on different things. One of the things that I got caught up a lot on is the audio, because they're all saying, have better audio, have better audio. Even your smartphone camera can give you good video, but it's the audio. Well, this is the audio from my smartphone camera, and it's actually quite good, because I listened to a few of the other ones, and it's not bad. But I still wanted to have something better, and I wanted to use my Nikon in order to do the video, because it's supposed to have a better quality picture, but there's no audio input on it, so the audio on that kind of sucks. So I've been searching around trying to figure out what to do. I had to learn how to do Audacity so that I can change the audio track on the video from a splitter going through Audacity through the computer and coming from a mic on the mixer. And that was a little bit challenging. I've done things like that before in the past, but it's been quite a while since I did like things in that nature. I used to work in a small volunteer TV studio that was probably about 6 years of doing that. That was back in the 80s, and we had professional equipment, even though it wasn't great equipment, but it was professional equipment, and it was quite easy to do with fading and changing from one camera to the other, because we actually did have two cameras, and I mean, so I got quite proficient at that. But this is quite a bit different than that, and it's a lot more computer generated than like on the fly and on tape. So I have to learn a bit more stuff, and like I say, it's been a little bit different for me. What you see in front is two computers that I built. This one here is one that has a Ryzen 5 1400, and it's overclocked. And I decided to put in a larger CPU cooling system on it, and that was because the CPU was starting to go up a little bit in temperature, and I like to keep it down in the 40s. So I don't do a lot of gaming and stuff like that, so I thought, well, if I put something like that in, that'd be alright. But then actually the motherboard started heating up more, because it blocked the air coming in from the fans on the front. So now I have to switch it back around so that the components on the motherboard are going to get more air, because this is blocking it, because the parts that need to be cooled are back in here and back down there, and the air is just coming from the front, three fans on the front, coming straight through here. This is pulling the air through here, and then this is pulling the air out. And then down through here is the power supply, and it's taking air and it's sucking it up through here, and it's putting it out this grill here. So it doesn't get, because of the graphics card and because of the way this is situated here and the memory back in here, then it's not actually getting good airflow the way I had to put it on. It has a front on it, and it's just plexiglass, so it's not a lot of air being pulled in. So what I did was I took the front off in order to get the three fans, and I put dust covers on the fans so that not too much dust would get into it. But the problem still lies in, it was getting better airflow, the CPU got a better temperature on it, but the motherboard is still about 10 degrees higher than the CPU, which is kind of strange because usually it's the other way around. Usually the motherboard is a cooler temperature than the CPU when you're just running it normally. I'm not talking about way overclocking and gaming and like, I'm just talking about using Audacity and watching YouTubes and videos and stuff like this and whatnot, whereas the temperature is just getting a little bit too high. So this is my build that I was going to be doing for YouTube, and on this one I have one of the new R5 2400s with the built-in graphics. That's why there's no video card on there. And I hooked it up and everything to be working good and whatnot. I was going to start to get into doing the cable management, which I haven't done yet. And then I decided, well, I want to get myself a much better CPU to put inside of this one. And I was going to wait for Ryzen 2 to come out. So instead of doing that, I'm going to wait for Ryzen 3 to come out. So I'm going to wait another year. And because it makes more sense to change things around with the components that you have so that you can get what you need for now, it made a little bit more sense for me to take the CPU and the graphics card out of here and put it in here, and then I have a AIO, and I don't know if you guys know what that is, but basically it's a water cooling device. It's an all-in-one. AIO, that's the term that they use on a lot of the YouTubes to talk about water cooling, but it just means all-in-one. So they really should be saying a water cooling AIO, because that's what it is. It's not just an AIO, because there could be lots of things that are AIO that are all in one. I mean, go buy a car, it's all in one piece, there it is. But for some reason, AIO in the computer world is what I was saying. Anyway, so I bought one of those. It's only one of the 120, but it has 2 fans, which is a push-pull configuration, which does give it much better cooling than just the one fan that's pushing or pulling. I'll get into that whenever we talk about that, and I put it in the system. The motherboard that's on this one is a higher end motherboard than on this one, and this one has much better heat sinks on the parts on the motherboard that need to have cooling than on this one. So when I put this system on here, if you can see, I'm not positive, but you can see that the cooling system is way smaller and it's way down here. And what it's doing is it's sucking air from the bottom and pulling it out the top. And whenever it's doing that, then the airflow is going to be going over the motherboard better. So it will cool the parts of the motherboard on this one when that CPU and cooler is over here. It will be pulling the air better across the motherboard than on this one, because that's what I had before I put this thing in. It will help the motherboard, and that's important to me because I like to have not the coolest temperatures that I can get, but around like a normal amount of cooling, as opposed to something that's like 10 degrees higher than it should be. And that's what's happening right now. I've been running it for a while, but it's not, it hasn't really worked its way out the way that I was hoping that it would. So anyway, so that's my part on my systems that I have and what I'm going to be doing there. The thing that I was talking about earlier on the mixers was I didn't know which one to get. I've ordered 3 different ones, and the first one that I got was this one here, and it's a Behringer, made in Japan. Sorry, excuse me, made in China. And it has a lot of features on it, and it's what they call 10 channels, but it's really only 5, well, not 5, but it's got this channel and this channel, which are stereo channels, even though they call them mono, because you pan left and right here and here. So when the audio comes out of here on the USB port, which is on the back here, it's stereo that goes into your computer, or 2-channel mono, or whatever you want to call it, because everybody's got a different way of saying it. I say stereo because it's 2 channels. So stereo, that's coming out of the USB port here and then going into your computer, and Audacity picks it up as 2 channels. So if I'm trying to change it from left to right, then I pan either left or right, or put it in the center, and it comes equally on both channels. That way there, if you have 2 people and you want one person on the left and one person on the right, you can just pan these buttons, one to the left, one to the right, and then one person will be coming out of one of the stereo channels and the other one will be coming out of the other stereo channel. Now, a lot of this stuff here, whenever I was using it, I found that I just kind of left it in the same spot as what it is now, or just turned it slightly. So it really wasn't doing anything for my signal. I still had to do a lot of post-processing in Audacity. And I thought, well, there's got to be a better way of doing it. I said, I find there was a little bit of noise on this. It could have been coming from the wall. I'm going to get a line conditioner, and what a line conditioner does is it helps on the AC that's coming out of the wall in so far as trying to keep the voltage constant, even if the voltage drops or the voltage goes up. So let's say it went down, it's supposed to be 120, say it goes down to 110, or maybe it goes up to 130, it'll keep it at that 120 no matter if it goes up or down. It will keep the constant at 120. The other thing that it does is if you set it at 60 hertz, 60 hertz comes out of it. So if it drops down to 59.9 or goes up to 60.1, it'll still keep it at the AC coming out of the wall at 60 hertz. So that helps too, but the biggest thing that it does is EMI, and that is interference from electricity and electric motors, like the fridge in your house, because it'll emit frequencies when it's turning off and on, and it might give like little spikes and stuff and whatnot, and you'll hear them as like hiss on your audio that's coming out of your mixer, because your mixer has very sensitive preamps for microphones. You won't hear it so much on the channels over here, but these mixers need really, on the preamps on the mixers, need really quiet AC in order for them to work their best. And a lot of professionals, when they're doing their stuff, they do have EMI filters on a lot of their equipment, and they're separate, and they're put on their audio equipment and a lot of other things actually, but talking just audio file stuff and audio studio stuff, to keep the noise down as much as they can. They do have those line conditioners. So this one here is the thing is called it's called a DAC. It's a DAC, which is a digital to audio converter. Even though what's coming out of here is digital, and it goes into the computer as digital, and then what comes out of the computer is audio, and what goes into here is audio. So it's going to be like an audio through here, microphone, coming out digital, going into there digital, changing everything that you're going to be doing to the production on it inside the computer digitally. But what comes, the signal that comes out of here is going to be audio. So in this thing here, you got audio digital converter. So it's a AD or ADC, where on this one, whenever you're listening to music coming out of your computer, it's got a DAC, digital to audio converter, because an MP3 file is digital. The stuff that's coming out of your mixer is digital. A movie that you watch is digital audio, if it's going through your system. So they don't change the name for what it does. If it's audio to digital converter or a digital to audio converter, it's still called a DAC. So it's just a term that they use. So, like I said, this one here is a 16-bit, and it samples at up to 48K, and the bit depth, that you use can actually cause noise in the audio. So what I did was, I decided to go out and buy a different style machine. And this is actually not a mixer, even though it kind of does mixing, because you can put more than one microphone in here. You can put up to 4 microphones, or you can put up to 2 instruments, because these ones are only mono. So basically, this is 4-channel mono, 2-channel stereo, one or the other. What's coming out of this one here has audio that's only on the left side. So that means you have to clone the audio in Audacity in order to get the audio on the right channel, so you don't hear me just coming out of one channel. This one here has audio that's only coming in on the right channel. Now, there is a stereo button on it, but the stereo button that's on there just is for what's coming out of the headphones, as far as I can tell. I've tried it a bit, and it doesn't seem to work the way that I thought it was supposed to work. But I can clone and put it over there, the audio jack from mono to stereo. I can tell the Audacity to take that one channel that's coming on the left and bring it in as 2 channels. But if I decide later that I want to put music, a stereo music, on these 2 channels, then I can't switch the 2 around later to say I want the audio coming in from this one to be on both channels, and then these 2 here to be separate and being mixed together and then going through the system, because the mixer, because it's not able to do that because of the limitations of the software that I'm using. Now, because I wasn't using a lot of those controls on the other one, I thought maybe this might be the better thing, but I'm finding it's not. This has 24-bit and up to 196 gigabit refresh ratio. So it's like 4 times what the other mixer is. And I apologize if I said that did 48 meg. I should have said 48K. If I didn't say that, then it's actually 48K max. This one's 196K max. And the other one is 16-bit. This one's 24. So because this one's 24, it inherently has less noise on the USB track that's coming out of the back on this one, which is right here. Now, like I said, I tried both of them, and this does have a better signal, but it doesn't work the way I want it to. It's not good for this, because I have to do even more work whenever I switch to my other camera to get the audio ready to be switched the audio track on my video editing software to work with my Nikon, and it'll even take me more time to get videos out, and I've already been playing at this for like 2 weeks, and I just don't think that it's the best use of my time. I want to be able to get a video out a week for now, and then whenever I get more proficient at what I'm doing, then I'd like to have 2 videos out a week. So I decided that this one's going back. I ordered an even better unit than this, which has the equivalent of this inside of it, and also works in the way that this works with all the extra features, and being able to pan the mic to the left and right, or have it on both channels at the same time. And then it started getting into more and more money. I bought this one here, and it costs $105 for this Behringer model, which is a Q1002 USB. And then this one was $154, and this is also a Behringer. It has different preamps in it. This is a Zenny preamp system, and this one's a Euphoria preamp system. And this one is the UMC404HD. HD for high definition, because it's 24-bit. The one that I had ordered was a 24-bit 196K DAC, and it had 16 channels and 2 buses and 2 outputs on the USB port. And that was $300, which was twice the amount of this one. So I had it ordered, then I canceled it because this was supposed to be an inexpensive venture for me, not an expensive one. So I decided to keep this one, because this one here does more what I want, and I will have to do post editing on the audio through Audacity, but I'm getting pretty good at it. So most of what I want to do is just take the noise out of the audio, and then boost up the signal a little bit so that the audio to noise ratio is a little nicer, and that's pretty much all that I want to do. I can adjust my voice a little bit on the equalizers, and it'll have a little better sound. So that's basically what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks, is trying to figure this stuff out. It's wasn't an easy process for me, but I'm glad I went through it because I learned an awful lot, because I forgot an awful lot. That was back in the 80s whenever I did that stuff at the small TV station that I worked at. And things have changed so much. It's easier, but yet harder now. It's, I guess, all what you're used to. And like I said, my channel is called Second Time Tech, and this is the second time I'm doing things, and sometimes it's been 40 years since the last time I did it, so I'm on a learning curve. Hope you like this video, and if you do, please hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you want to get some more information, the style that I do. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you later. Bye.